It's raining. I've got a day off. No motor racing for me today, no football, well, obviously no cricket because the cricket season's finished. So I'm going to do a little van tour just to keep myself occupied. I did some chores today and a bit of admin, work admin. I'm self-employed freelancer, cameraman, and did all those things. Went down the garage, got myself a coffee and one of those ham and cheese toasties from M&S BP station. There's one quite close to us, and yeah, I've been in the studio just doing a few tasks and bits and pieces. And then I looked at the clock and realised it's 11:30 a.m. What the hell am I going to do for the rest of the day? I thought, well, since it's raining, I don't really want to go out for a walk or a run or anything, so I'm going to give a bit more of a detailed description of what I've got going on in the van. So there are pictures of my van on my other YouTube channel video where I explain about my diesel heater. So it's a Citroen Relay. This red crab I got from Hayling Island in the summer. I went down there and they have them in most of the little touristy shops. I thought it would look like a good little addition to the front of the van, so I travel with that. Next to it is a plastic plant. Looks like a rubber plant or a money tree or something, but it's plastic from M&S. Down below there, that's my eye patch that's supposed to be in the freezer actually, for you know, soothing your eyes when they're tired. Then I've got in that spotty bin bag, that is some diesel and unleaded fuel for my diesel heater and for my petrol generator. There's a couple of I don't know what you'd call them, chocks to put under the wheels when I'm parked on unlevel ground, so this gives us a bit more lift on the sides or the front and back. So they travel with me as well, they're pretty good. Oh, and there's another plastic plant. I don't know where I got this one from, but that sits in the, I mean, this is supposed to be a drinks holder, but it's about 1 inch deep, so it's useless. You go to Starbucks or Costa, buy yourself a drink, accelerate away, and it spills it all over the place. So whoever designed these vehicles, there is just nowhere to hold cups. So I'm going to look into getting better cup holders than that. So for now, that's going to have a plastic plant in it. These are all my smellies that you get free when you get your car washed at the local car wash. They always hand you out one of them for free. Just a towel for wiping the windows there. But other than that, the cab is pretty standard stuff. Up along the guttering along there, I've got some other towels. My headphones, in case the motor racing's too noisy. Sometimes I have to put them over the top of my headset because I just can't hear what's going on. There's a little USB strip light that works for the kitchen. It's pretty funky. I think the battery's run out actually. Yeah. Keep loads of blue roll and absorbent paper towels, some washing up liquid, some thick Thinsulate gloves. Blue roll, can't go wrong with that. Pampers wet wipes. They're the ones that aren't made out of paper, so when you rub them on your stubbly face, it doesn't all come off on your skin, which I think the Huggies ones do. So these are a better option actually. Hats, coffee and tea. I explained about them the other day. I keep my microwave here. This is attached, fixed to the van. The kitchen area, this table is actually a stand-up desk, standard stand-up desk, non-adjustable, non-electric. It's perfect height, so I can stand and edit video on this if I want to. But the microwave's bolted to that, the toaster, and the chopping board. That's velcroed, as most of them are, so if you wanted to take it off, you can, and then you can wash it properly, or really sort of sterilise it. And as I've said before, I keep a few condiments and odds and ends in there I like. They travel with me all the time. Behind there, these again are, I think I got these off eBay. They're plastic ivy. There's one of those logs you put in the log burner, which I have featured on a YouTube video. I use the log burner when I'm on appropriate places to use it, and that's one of those logs that burns for about 3 hours. This is not my cat. I've got a couple of these actually. This is Flatbush Cats. I'm a cat lover and I sponsor this company. They built a charitable veterinary clinic specialising in cats and dogs in Flatbush, New York. So they're based out of New York and they rescue cats because they've got a terrible, terrible cat problem for homeless cats, and cats get sick and injured, and they just send me a little postcard once a month and I donate monthly to them. Comes out of my bank account, direct debit. So I've got that. As I say, I've got a couple of others, but I don't know where they are. I keep them. They might be in here, but anyway, they're okay. This is, or was, a sample of a curtain. It's a sort of a thick, hempy kind of fabric with a screen print on it, designed by a company called Timorous Beasties. They did Paddington Station in London, and they also did one of the series of Big Brother. They provided all the curtains and soft furnishings and cushions. They're famous for cushions with bees on them, and what else do they do? Oh yeah, the iguana. I don't know, there's one on there. No, there's not one on there. There's possibly one on this one. So I've got that hanging, and that was part of a 10-foot curtain sample. This is another curtain, which is my roof hanging for the van. I think actually that is the bottom of that. Yeah. And also I've got another piece of it here which comes down and gives me a bit of privacy in the night. Just drops down a couple of foot. This is one of my video lights that I've just attached to the inside of the van on the bulkhead, and it obviously just illuminates my face. What else have I got? So this I made a little video of the other day, is my IKEA wall unit, which I've attached to the van. I made a video about that. It's really solid. And I've got these 6 little metal baskets. It's kind of an officey thing really, more than a sort of a soft furnishing thing. These bungees I put on yesterday actually, because everything slides around, so they hook in here and hook in here, and they just keep everything tight, so when you go around corners they don't slide out. These are a couple of other boxes. I think I got these from IKEA as well, which are velcroed to the top. I keep my cups in here. This one currently has got my little lantern and a few other bits and pieces. This there is one of those atomizer things. You plug it into USB and it changes colour, and then you get some steam coming out, and I've got some drops to put in there, which is pretty nice. These I've got from various places. More dried flowers, very artistic me, and there more dried flowers, and there. So they just brighten the place up a little bit. In the back I've got 2 curtains. If you see that they're attached by magnets, so you could put a curtain rail up of course to be more thorough and more neat, but these are just fishing magnets from eBay. They're really super strong, and these curtains are actually IKEA blankets. They're sort of single throw blankets. They're about twice as wide as that, so that's folded over and doubled, and they're about 3 or 4 foot long. So when I pull them out, well, let's do that, shall I? Pull it out of the hole, and they go down nice and neat. Like that. So they're pretty good. That's a little neon blue lightning bolt. I think I got that from eBay. I can't find its power point, but that goes into here. It's a little USB power stick, and that'll light it for about 10 hours, I think. That's an old shirt. I used to work in Cornwall, used to run a surf shop. It's a really lovely quality. I've had it for years actually. It's a really lovely quality Hawaiian shirt, really good quality. I look a bit loud and bold in it, but I keep it. And again, it makes the place look quite nice. So I keep that. What have I got? These are off of eBay. I've got quite a few of these. These are little army type pouches. Very strong material, canvasy. Some of them are wider than they are deep, some of them are deeper than they are wide, and they hold various things. So deodorant, what's in that one? Oh, that's got some spare bulbs for all my Christmas lights that I sometimes use. Don't think there's anything in that one. That's got a few cables in it. Keep my cutlery in that one. And I keep, that's the charging lead for my Bluetti, which you just take out if you're going to take the Bluetti into a house or somewhere where there's a lead. These are metal baskets for hanging up in your bathroom, your kitchen or your van. From IKEA. Olive oil, mouthwash, some lighters, a bit of Velcro. My carbon monoxide alarm is underneath, that just runs all the time. A few gas bottles picked up from wherever, camping shop. Plastic cups, these are the type of things you get at festivals, Glastonbury and things like that. You just wash them out and keep them strong plastic, they last for a long time. Yeah, you've seen my Christmas lights. They've been used in a few other videos. They're just off Amazon. They just go around there, the back portion of the van, and they're pretty cool. The bed, or the bed platform, is a standard piece of 16mm ply from B&Q, cut to the size. This is a standard single, and this is a standard IKEA single double. Beg your pardon, double. It's all doubles. So the platform is a double standard. The bed is a standard IKEA double mattress, memory foam mattress. I've put a quilt over the top just to make it look a bit prettier. Bed's not really made, is it? Now those cushions I've explained as well, they just lean against the back and they're a nice place to sit and they look nice. But when it's raining and it's this kind of time of year, I pull them all forward away from the window. I'd never get any condensation. People are obsessed with condensation. When I post things on YouTube or Facebook or whatever, people are obsessed with, oh, you'll get condensation. Oh, it'll be damp. I just don't get it. And I mean, what I mean is I just don't get damp and condensation. I open the doors and windows quite a lot, so I air the place out. And I drive quite a lot, so there's always air going through when I drive. But I pull them forward just to sort of, if it does steam up, you can get a little bit of dampness on the cushions, but it's very, very rare and it's never been a problem. But I pull them forward anyway just to do it. Doesn't make the bed look very tidy, does it? But yeah, so they sit in there, they're quite nice. What else have I got? I've said about my fridge in the past. This is from Just Campers, which is near me, Surrey way. It's a standard 45 litre fridge, runs off 12 volts or 240, but I run it off 12. At the moment it's turned off because I'm not out and about at the moment and the weather's not warm. Not really got anything in there. I've got a few beers. They're still cold, so they don't need the fridge on. This glass is all frosted, blacked out, so you can't see a thing from the outside. I sometimes put a blanket across there and it hangs down like a curtain again because I just can't be bothered to make curtains when things. This is another IKEA blanket. When an IKEA blanket is just totally adequate, and I keep that with on with magnets as well. Other bits and pieces I do keep in this this new shelving unit. So I've got all my electronic items. It's a back massager, one of those muscle relaxant guns. A few drills and tools that aren't in the way. I've got my medicine cabinet with things for if I get a cold or get a cut. They're quite handy. That's one of those lavender flavoured bean filled hacky sacks that goes, it's really long and it goes around my neck, so if I have a bad neck I can put that in the microwave for 2 minutes and then I can keep my neck nice and relaxed. Again, more cables and a few little tools, nothing much. That light there I'm using as a bit of a fill light today. That's another one of my video lights from work. This I've described on a couple of occasions. That is a mount made by a UK company called Hague that you can mount if you're doing cricket, football, horse racing, greyhounds, motor racing. If you want to put it on a fence or scaffolding, the clamp is designed to clamp to scaffolding and holds that big camera solid, really solid, completely adjustable. But it also goes on the edge of the table. It's not meant to go on the edge of the table because it's a bit wonky like that, but it does work. So I just put that up right, and then the camera just clips in there, which you've seen before. So just again, I've put another rack in since I explained. So this is another one of those orange crates that you get from IKEA. So I've got two now. That one at the moment has got tools in, really. That one's got food in it. So I've got two of them. They're pretty handy. Inexpensive and handy. That's from Travis Perkins. They just have a special sometimes. There's about 100 double extra large cloth wipes, which are brilliant. They're good for your hand. I don't use them on my face, but they're good for your hands and good for wiping the diesel heater off when it's wet, or wiping the little cooker off, or wiping the bin. That's a pedal bin from Homebase, £7. Not very big, but it does the job. That down the back of there is a standard everyday electric heater. Just sort of plug it in, costs a fortune, gets super hot. You can only ever use that on shore power if you're plugged into the mains, because it will drain the Bluetti in well, probably an hour or so. I'll get onto the Bluetti in a minute. What else have I got? I hang my coats, my waterproofs up here, and my hoodies on the back of the seat. Not particularly neat, but they're out of the way. And underneath them is my solar panels I mentioned the other day. These are big. These are like 1 metre by 1 metre, 3 foot by 3 foot. And it folds up, so it's that big, but there's 4 of them. They're all attached in like a concertina shape. And they go outside on a stand, you know, on their own internal stands. 400 watts. And I've got a cable down in the box there that is about 30 foot long. It's a really big extension cable that goes into the Bluetti, and we charge the Bluetti at 400 watts. So on really clear, bright, sunny days, regardless of how warm it is, just bright, sunny days, you're getting 400 watts an hour. So that in 4 hours, maybe 5 hours, would charge the Bluetti from 0. So that's good on sunny days. Now there I carry a normal everyday lorry battery. Got this at Halfords. It's half hidden behind the solar panels, but that's just a 12 volt lorry battery. That goes outside on this metal, which is a sort of plasterer's stand. The diesel heater goes on top. The battery goes on there as well, and then I run the curly pipe. Again, I made a video about this. I run a curly pipe which is stored up there, and that comes through the window with a little device that I built, and it is flawless in torrential rain. I made a video about this. Torrential rain, days and days of torrential rain, it just doesn't leak, and you get super hot dry heat comes through here from the diesel heater. So that's my sort of, well, one of my heating solutions. My other heating solution, which I use most of the time, is the electric blanket, which I've said about before, which just sits under here. It's a double Silent Night, 35 quid job. Get them anywhere. I think I got this one at Argos. But that runs off of 70 watts. So you could run that for 30 hours, say 25 hours. You'd never run it for that long. you put it on for a couple of hours before you go to bed, and then it's good for the night, and then turn it on again in the morning. Because I've got a fishing sleeping bag, I've got a 15 tog quilt, and I've got another sleeping bag there, so I've got plenty of heat, even if the van gets a bit cold. But that's nice with the van being quite cold. I quite like that. I like the bed to be warm and the van to be colder. This is a sun visor from Halfords again. Just goes in the windscreen, tin foily kind of, like a yoga mat sort of thing, and that concertina's across the front window. I don't use it because I'm not bothered about stealth really. I mean, as I've shown in my other videos, I just I go to Heston, or I go to Clackett Lane, or I go to Cobham Services, and I just sit there with my door open. I shut it when I go to sleep, but I don't really mind. And if I'm residential as well, I go in and out, and people can't see through the window. Not enough for them to see me, sort of in bed asleep or anything like that. So it's not an issue for me. Right, what else have I got? Keep some shoes down there. That's my little cheap gas heater, which I can boil up some water to make coffee, or make porridge. What else do I do? Yeah, tea, coffee and porridge really. That's it. But that's really handy. Then onto this box. So this I got from Homebase or somewhere like that. It might even be Habitat because it's oak on the top. It's really nice actually. So that's an oak top, and the rest of it is all pine. But inside this box I keep all my clothes, and I put my laptop in there sometimes if I'm moving about a bit, and it also doubles up as a nice little seat. I think that was about £100. It's really nice quality. Extension lead, which I carry for charging the Bluetti or just going off of shore power. And I've got one of those little shore power plugs, handy in many situations. Got my little sweepy brush for getting all the mud out of the camper van. This table is one of those standard 4 foot by 2 foot garden tables, foldable legs, plastic top, metal legs. You can get them in the garden centres. Not very nice to look at, but when you put this blanket over it, it all looks quite neat. Now in here is my Bluetti. I have shown this before, but I made out of loft insulation this box, which goes around the Bluetti, so it's not attached full time. Comes away, you just pull it out, and underneath or attached to the inside of that box are those USB heating pads which you put in your clothing, and they keep your hands and your body warm. That runs off 7 watts, so you can get like 300 hours out of that. It's just a negligent amount, but if you put it on and leave it on when it's freezing, we haven't really had any freezing temperatures this year, but when you get it put on and leave it on it heats up almost instantly, but give it an hour or so and it'll just heat that box up. And I know the temperature because inside the box I've got one of these. So this is a sensor, one of 2. The other one's in the box. And even if the van's cold, just a couple of degrees and getting towards freezing, the inside the box will usually be between 15 and 20 degrees centigrade. We're talking warm. And that's even, it hasn't been super cold, but that's even in when it's been getting a little bit chilly. So when it's super icy and cold, as long as it keeps this above 0, it can be charged and it can be operated and it won't damage it. There's its little monitor there, just velcroed to the side. So I've been out and found one of them will say +2, +3, +4 centigrade. As I say, it hasn't dropped below 0 yet this year. And then this one will be 15, 16, 17, the one that's in the box. So it doesn't matter how cold it gets in here, as long as the box stays above 0, my electronics will be safe. So yeah, that stays there. I can plug that into shore power, I can plug that into solar, or I can charge it up as I did the other day in my other video when I'm on a racetrack or a venue in an emergency with my petrol generator, which is a really cool little 2k generator, and that'll charge that in an hour, or about an hour and a half. So everything's under control, everything works and everything has a function, everything's neat, everything's tidy. I've been doing this on and off, this kind of living, not full time, but I've had a van similar to this one for, well, I had the other one for 17 years and I've had this for 2 years. So yeah, maybe a bit longer. It's getting on for 20 years. I've had this sort of size Transit, Mercedes Sprinter, Citroen Relay vans with beds and a fridge. The electronic Bluetti AC 200L is a new addition. That was 1,500 quid, but that keeps me really autonomous off grid. As for a toilet, no, I don't have a toilet in here. I have, being a boy, I have pee bottles. So I've got a couple of old drinks bottles, and if I need to go, I'll have a wee there. If I need to go to number 2, well, it just depends where you are on the situation. Most of the places I stay have got toilets anyway, so it's never particularly an issue. And the only time I'd use the bottles is if I just can't be bothered to get up. It's a bit nippy, it's middle of the night, as anyone would. You just go to the loo near you, don't you? So I use these, because you just have to sort of roll out of bed and go and use one of them. Easy to do if you're a boy. That's just a, I don't know, 2 foot by 2 foot floor tile, office floor tile from B&Q. I think it was 4 quid or something. And that stays down along with this carpet, which I bought in a shopping centre from one of those carpet selling shops. They've got hundreds of different colours and kinds of carpet. 40 quid I think it was. And they're both got that carpet contact spray adhesive. A few sprays of that and the carpet stays in the van. A few sprays of it and the rug stays on the carpet. And a few more sprays of it and the floor tile stays on the rug, which stays on the carpet, which stays in the van. Do you get it? Does that make sense? That's how everything stays in. It doesn't move, it never comes off. And in my old van, I had it for 4 or 5 years. It got threadbare and got all muddy and a bit horrible, so I just ripped it out, threw it away, went down carpet right, bought another piece of carpet with the template that I've got, and again, just used some of this, stuck it down, you got brand new carpet. So that's a nice simple way of doing it. Finally, yeah, everything's modular, so this stand-up desk is the bulkhead. It's just bungeed very strongly into the bulkhead, so that just can't move. The microwave is bungeed invisibly. The toaster's velcroed. That's velcroed, so I can actually pull this off to wash. That's velcroed. I got that from the pound shop. It's just a thin plastic one. 2 more thin plastic ones. They're not even attached, but they don't fall off. This is just a spotty blanket from somewhere. That's my electric blanket controller. And that's it, I think. So this is just my van. It's raining today, so I've done all my chores this morning. I'm bored. I thought, shall I go for a walk or shall I make a boring YouTube video? So I settled on the video. Hope you enjoy it. Watch my other videos, and this is Vanlife Cameraman, and I'll see you on the next one.